Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. It's midday. I'm live from Durham, and welcome to another episode of Tea with Richard. As you all know, I've been having a few technical problems in the last few episodes. We think it might be a hard drive issue on the computer that I'm using to stream these from. So if everything goes down, hopefully it won't, that's the reason why. So, my name is Richard Hornby, and this is your 3 times a week run through of some things to do, things to think about during the coronavirus pandemic. If you've not seen any of my previous videos, they can all be found at the link on screen, mallard-days.com/tea, where you can find out information about everything we've mentioned in our previous episodes. So I've got my cup of tea with me. Let's begin. And as always, it's good to remember that there are support networks available if you're struggling. This is a County Durham based podcast, and I showed this on screen last episode, and I will continue to show it every episode. In County Durham, we have several different ways of getting help. You can contact the volunteer support line on 0191 649 8893, the council support line on 03000 260 260, and the online support directory at durhamlocate.org.uk. Obviously, if you're not in County Durham, there will be helplines like that in your local area. Either contact your local council or look on Mutual Aid UK and you'll be able to find out ways of finding help in these difficult times. So without further ado, we're going to move on to things to see and do. And the thing I'm going to say today is a little bit of a short-term thing, but has a nice little story behind it. So I mentioned at last week's Friday's episode that Ancestry had free access to all their UK records until Monday. That's today. So until midnight tonight, if you're interested in looking at a little bit of family history, I mean, you're not going to get a lot done in 12 hours, but you might be able to find something out about one member of your family. You can go on, you can look at all the historical records that are free to explore. And I was talking last night to a regular viewer who saw this and thought they'd have a go at tracing their family history. And they actually found somebody interesting within their family history. And I thought I'd share their story with you. So this is the person we're talking about. I'm obviously not going to mention any names for protect their identity, but quite obviously they aren't with us anymore. But this person was unknown to our viewer, and when they were looking back through the records, they found that they descended from this man. He was a staff sergeant in World War I and served in the 18th Battalion of the Durham Light Infantry, and he rescued wounded men under fire during World War I and was given the Distinguished Conduct Medal for his bravery. He then worked with the Royal Engineers during the Second World War and also for British Rail during the time in between the wars and afterwards, along with a lot of other members of his family. And it's just amazing when you start digging into family history. The person who shared this with me didn't know anything about this chap. And it's just amazing how much information you can find when you look. And I have to say that Ancestry does turn into a little bit of a rabbit hole, because the more you find, the more you try to find, and you just keep going. I personally have been looking at my family history for around 20 years now. Some branches of my family are back to the 1600s, others are decidedly not that far back. And it is a never-ending task, but it is actually a really fun one, and it is something you can do now. It used to be the case, but you can do mainly online, and yeah, you can actually find out a heck of a lot. And if you're looking for a hobby to take up or something to pass the time while you're in isolation, this may be the very thing for you. So if you want to have a try to start off with, as I said, there's a free trial on Ancestry until the end of today. So that is our little short thing to see and do for today's episode, with a little bit of a story behind it. And remember, if you know of other things that you can see or do or get on with in the meantime, please do let me know. Pop a message in the comments feed or send me an email to t@mallard-days.com. That'll be at the end of the video, and let me know about it, because if I don't know, I can't share it with all of you people. Another thing that we mentioned last time's episode was the Easter eggs in the window, and I was really pleased to see when I went around my local community yesterday for my walk, my mandated exercise period, that there were a lot of windows with Easter eggs in, and it looked really cheerful and happy, and it made me smile. So if you can put an Easter egg in the window, believe me, it does make a difference, and it does make everyone a lot more cheerful. So, as always, at this time, we move into a little bit more reflection. But today's reflection is going to be on the theme of things to see and do. Because one of the things that can help you relax when you're in a difficult situation is to focus on something different. My tip today is to immerse yourself in a new book, a new TV show, or a new podcast. And I thought I'd share with you a few of mine today. And obviously, these are going to be quite niche, but if you're looking for something to watch, all of these that I'm going to mention have quite large series, and they're quite good fun, and it is something to relax with if you can't find anything else that's not coronavirus related in the media. So the first one that I've mentioned before is Something Vloggy. And Something Vloggy's YouTube channel started off being an exploration of different historical areas, mainly in the Wales area, and has now become them walking to the end of their driveway through fields of lambs. But the Something Vloggy YouTube channel is good. It's relaxing, it's enjoyable, it's got a bit of history and a bit of culture and a bit of historical landmarks. So that's Something Vloggy. Some of you might know that I'm quite interested in railways, and that is nothing to do with the fact that my surname is Hornby, but I have two YouTube channels that are railway themed for you. The first one is All the Stations. I may have mentioned this before. Jeff and Vicky, 2 summers ago, went round all the stations in the UK, and last summer went round all the stations in Ireland and the Isle of Man. They did daily YouTube videos and a feature-length 90-minute documentary about the first journey. They're all on YouTube under All the Stations. And related to that, there is Whitewick's Abandoned Railways. And they are similar to All the Stations, going around stations in the UK, but they're trying to visit the disused stations and find out a bit more about the history of the railways and how they developed in areas where they now are no longer railways. So that's Whitewick's Abandoned Railways, which is another good travel thing. And I'm going to be going through my entire playlist now, but one more that I'll mention is the Tim Traveller. This gained traction in YouTube a few months ago for no apparent reason when he visited the highest hill in the flatlands in Holland. But he does a lot of travel-based little episodes. They're good to relax to while you're having a cup of tea. So maybe one to watch on Tuesday lunchtime when there isn't a Tea with Richard episode. So there are a few little YouTube channels to immerse yourself in to distract you from what's going on, because it really is important to relax and to focus on things that are nice and things that aren't always coronavirus and deaths, because the news is really dominated by one story, and a lot of the TV channels are dominated by one story. So it's really good to be able to get away from that story, even if it's just for a few minutes every day. Now, we have one small submission to your corner. Well, it's probably not small in size, but it is just one. And that is today this. It's a homemade custard tart. So well done to John and Pauline, who contributed to baking this custard tart. It looks really tasty. I would really like a slice, but unfortunately I can't have one. So I hope it was tasty. And remember, if you have anything to share, the details are on screen. Now, tomorrow we've got a bit of a special, Wednesday we've got a bit of a special episode, because hopefully Nikki, who's the person who made the NHS bear and some of the crochet work that you've seen, will be giving us a how-to on doing crochet. So before next episode, if you can find or make something like a little crochet hook, so just a stick with a hook on the end, we might have some instructions on how to make a homemade one during next episode, and some wool. Bring that along to next week's Wednesday's episode, and we will be doing some, all being well, some introduction to crochet work online on this channel. So it might be a bit of fun. I don't know how it's going to go, but I'm sure we'll find out. So as always, if you want to get in touch, send your submissions to tea@mallard-days.com. All the highlights are on our website, mallard-days.com/tea. If you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button or click the bell and give it some ears to make sure you get up-to-date information about future videos. Or if you're watching on the website, click my head in the top right-hand corner to do the same thing. As always, thank you very much for watching. I look forward to hearing from you all. And remember, folks, once you finish your tea, remember to wash your hands. Have a good day, and I'll see you on Wednesday.